Well, greetings, Mr. Kolazar's class. We're going to start looking at neutralization reactions. Now, in our neutralization reactions, we're going to look at writing out our chemical equation for each one. Now, in a neutralization reaction, it's going to reaction with an acid and a base is going to produce a salt and water. Now, these are all double replacement reactions. Now, thinking back to double replacement reaction, so it's going to have two parts switching places. Now, a salt is any generic term for an ionic compound made of a cation from the base and an anion from the acid. So it's going to be a metal plus a nonmetal is going to be a salt. So there are many different types of salts out there. Hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions, H plus, OH minus, going to react to produce H2O is going to be our other part. So an example of this, lithium hydroxide, our base, plus hydrochloric acid, our acid, is going to produce salt and water. And we're going to look at this example just a little bit more in depth. So first off, HCl is going to break apart into our hydrogen ions and our chloride ions, so the plus and the minus, and the positive of one is going to react with the negative of the other. Positive one with the negative of the other. So we're going to produce in the end hydrogen plus hydroxide to produce our H2O, and then our lithium and our chlorine are going to be the other part. So what we have here is our salt, and here we'd have our water being produced from this chemical reaction. So neutralization, we lose the H plus and the OH minus. They're going to be neutralized out, forming that water. So a couple of ideas to look through. Hydrochloric acid, HCl, plus NaOH. So the first thing we're going to do is identify who the acid is. And we're going to identify who our base is by looking at our starting point. H is our positive, chlorine's our negative, sodium's a positive 1, hydroxide's a minus 1. So when we look, hydrogen is going to want to combine with the OH. We can write this out one of two ways. HOH is the same as H2O. So this is our water. And our second, we'll put that up above. And our second one that we're going to form, Na and Cl are going to combine. Writing our positive part first, NaCl when we crisscross is one of each. This is going to be our salt. So we should put water up there. Our second example, just a little bit more. Sodium or potassium hydroxide, potassium plus 1, hydroxide's a minus. Hydrogen plus sulfate's a minus 2 in this case when we crisscross. So our base, potassium hydroxide, our acid, sulfuric acid, starting with the H. Now, this time around, when potassium combines with sulfate, we're not going to make K, but K2SO4. Remember, we have a minus 2 and a plus 1, so when we crisscross those two, K2SO4, and then our other part that we're going to make, which is going to be our salt, is we also are going to produce our H2O from our hydroxide and our hydrogen, which is going to be the water. Now, to balance this out, if we needed to make sure that we're balanced, that would balance our chemical reactions out. So neutralization, salt is always produced in water, neutralizing our acid and our base.